All right, so I'm Adam Tischler. I paddle in Seattle a whole bunch, and I'm down here in Florida right now, and I'm with John, who is the owner, shaper for Flying Fish paddles, or paddle boards, and he's nice enough to let me come to the shop here, and I'm checking it out, but I wanted to make a video with him because these are really cool boards, and I paddle when I visit my folks here in Juno Beach or Jupiter, Florida, and all these guys who are super fast are riding this, and they'll all tell you they're going a lot faster. So we'll do a little tour of the board here real quick.
First thing I'll say about our boards is I truly believe that we have shaped a all-around board. So I don't classify this as a flat water board or like an ocean downwind board. It does all of it really well. When I designed a board, I tried to design a board that had as few flaws as possible. I didn't try to make like what I felt would be the fastest flat water board, because then it has its problems in chop or downwinding or surfing or things like that.
And you guys kind of have it all here because you got the intercoastal, you've got some protected lagoon.
Everything in Florida. So we, a lot of times a flat water race does not turn into a flat water race.
Right.
Okay, so I wanted to build a board where the customer can buy one board and be totally happy with one board. So no more going to a race going, man, do I ride my 26 ocean board or do I ride my 24 flat water board, or what do I ride? And it's like, well, I'm just going to ride my Flying Fish because it does everything well.
Cool.
So I'll explain to you exactly. You want to start on the deck of the board, I guess, since we got it this way?
Yeah, why not?
So the deck, there's a little bit of engineering to the deck for sure. The deck is slightly domed, so it sheds water quickly. Obviously, we don't want water to hold on top of the deck. This is actually a newer model for us. It's what we call our drop deck series. So we lowered the deck 1 inch on this board, so it's not a dugout, but kind of like a hybrid dugout. We use handles, strap handles like this, foam strap handles. We put beach start handles or drag handles if you want, pretty much whatever the customer wants. Deck pad, we've done a lot of research on our deck pads. So we use this little hex track here, which is super grippy and comfortable.
Yeah, it's forgiving.
And then we transition to a really coarse, thicker diamond cut towards the back.
And I noticed you've got vent plugs fore and aft.
Yeah, I use 2 vent plugs on the majority of our boards. It really depends on the volume of the board more than anything. If it's a super small, like 12.6 by 21, we might use 1 vent plug, but majority of the boards get 2 vent plugs.
It's a thing we pay attention to in Northwest when we go over the mountains and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always wondering why somebody would put like a single vent plug in the middle of the board where you really need it up here in the nose where all the volume is, but also, one back here to where the rear of the board can release the pressure. So no, we use 2 vent plugs. We try not to cut any corners here. And then we do put a kick pad on our boards because there's a lot of surfing in Florida, especially on race boards. Okay. So I could get into construction, but we use primarily all carbon and S-glass. Cool. S-glass is a higher grade fiberglass. So everything is carbon and S-glass, or all carbon if the customer wants all carbon. So, okay, so let's get to the good stuff.
All right, so now we'll take a look at the Moneymaker.
Yeah, the bottom of the board here. Okay, let's start with the entry because obviously this is where the water starts from.
Yeah. This
board is what I consider a perfect combination of a planing style board with a displacement hull board. Essentially, the sweet spot on this board is to ride the board right here on this slightly rounded nose. So if you have a high cadence or you're a fast paddler and you like to keep your board on plane so you don't limit your speed at all, you're going to ride the board right in here. If you're a guy that maybe has a slower cadence and relies a lot more on distance per stroke, then you can make small adjustments on the deck and engage the nose a little bit. And so then you're actually getting a little bit of displacement. So if you look, probably the first 6 inches of this board has some displacement. But that's it. After that, it's pretty much a planing.
And riding your board the other night, which is too much volume for me, you're a bigger guy than I am. I still got really good glide. Better than usual.
Well, that's the key with our boards is I feel that I wanted a board that was super efficient. Because to me, the 2 things that are most important to me when I designed this board was stability and efficiency. Okay, so I feel that if you're not stable on a board, it's really hard to be efficient because you're spending too much time paddle checking or not applying your full power to your stroke. So stability came first for me, and we'll talk about that as we get towards the rear of the board. And then with distance per stroke and efficiency, a ton of it has to do with the way the water sheds off this nose.
Right.
Okay.
And I don't know if I'll do it justice with this shot, but you can see what's going on here, I think, in this shot pretty well.
If you want, I can lift it up a little more and kind of get an idea.
It's very cool. Okay.
One thing I do different than pretty much anyone I've seen is I carried my hard edge basically all the way up to the nose. I really didn't soften it until you get up here into this real sweet spot where this really doesn't engage the water much at all anyway.
Right.
Stability of the board starts here, okay? In my opinion, and everything is obviously opinionated, if your board is too rounded on the rail, especially at the nose, as you enter certain conditions, the nose of the board will continue to vibrate through the rest of the board, if that makes sense. So if you can get a board that really is stable from the nose back, you're going to feel it as a paddler.
Right.
Okay.
Right. You don't have to wait for a catch as it comes back to your foot.
Correct.
Got it.
It basically starts stability. And there's another reason I put this hard edge. The water, even though it doesn't, it's not a displacement hull board, it's definitely a planing hull board. Because we kept a harder edge here, the water clears the board quicker, similar to like a hard edge on a paddle. And the water doesn't stick to the nose and come up around the nose. Where a lot of boards, you'll see the water come up onto the deck of the board. And it literally like grips the nose of the board.
And and there's a line, this is just, for folks watch, this is just like a coloration line. The actual sort of chine or edge is right here.
Yeah, this is a cut lap. So when we laminate the board, we cut the carbon.
It's perfectly smooth to the touch. It's just visually.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We use what I call like a carbon patina look, what I like to call perfectly imperfect. I think it's a super cool look.
Yeah, it's a cool looking board.
But
for
it's
sure.
not necessarily just our look, it's the process of the board. And we can get into that in a minute. So let's just finish it on the design.
Yep.
So the board here continues to have this little bit of a rounded surface here. But again, you don't feel unstable with it because of the hard edge. Okay? Then it channels into a double concave right here. And if you want, Adam, you can run your hand right across here and you'll get an idea. You can feel it.
For sure. Here, I'll even do a little bit of...
Yeah, you might be able to catch it on that. So it's definitely a very subtle double concave.
It's there though.
Yeah, I believe in definitely not over-engineering boards. I think you can put too much concave in a board and it traps, it restricts the flow of water.
Yeah.
I got a ton of theories on it, but it's kind of like if you had a PVC pipe that was 2 inches thick and a PVC pipe that was 1 inch thick and you put the same amount of water through the two of them, which one's going to have more pressure coming through?
Right.
The thinner pipe. So if you can restrict the water a little bit, just to kind of help it flow through quicker.
Yep. And this rise coming from here comes all the way, as I see it.
Oh yeah, the rise is through the whole
continues.
board.
Yeah. So it's like a long.
Through the whole board. What happens is this might be the shot to try to get.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, if you can, it's super subtle, so it's hard to see in the video. But no, there is a slight ridge down the center of the board. Very subtle though. I don't want people to feel like it's a V.
No. Well, and I can attest that you feel the concave in terms of how it affects like in terms of stability.
Yeah.
What you feel is the stability of what I think a lot of us consider attributed to the concave, not the rolling of a ventral runner down there. Yeah.
So anyway, so the nose kind of filters in here to a concave, and then the concave carries pretty much through the board until about the fin box, really. And then at the fin box, it turns into just a V, a very slight V.
Yep.
Which helps the board release water really, really well. And also this board, because of the nice clean tail without any crazy concaves and things like that, it surfs, is super maneuverable on the waves, which to us is very important. We do a lot of downwinding and bump riding, wake riding, things like that, where you really do want to make little adjustments on your board. And this board is super easy to make adjustments and to buoy turn.
Yeah, when Steve Miller, one of your team riders, is a really strong paddler here.
Yeah.
described the ability to step back just even when you're drafting.
Yeah.
A few inches back,
Yep.
and you can lock into someone's draft. There's not a whole, and then the rail steering too, which is something that I noticed.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about, because we carry this hard rail all the way through the board, you can literally ride this board from rail to rail. So if you basically have a 23-inch wide board or a 24-inch wide board for easier math, if you ride it rail to rail, you're essentially riding a 12-inch wide board, if that makes sense. Okay?
Right.
Because you're lifting the one rail out of the water and you're still plenty stable. The board's going to track perfectly straight.
Yep.
Joey Humpner, one of our younger team riders, he loves to ride rail to rail. So that's one of his tricks to kind of being faster. Yeah, foot steers well. All the reports I've gotten from all my guys have been super, super positive. Erie just got his new board, and last night he was like crazy, like, oh my God, I love this thing. He was super in love with it. Again, catches bumps super, super easy. Drafts really easy. Just a lot of benefits that someone who's an experienced racer would notice the difference.
Yep.
So the aesthetics of the board, even though, a lot of people love it, and I love the way it looks as well, it looks this way because of our process of construction, not that we intentionally, it's not like we paint the board and then scuff it up to make it look weathered. All of our color, and if you want to just glance on this, all of our color we use is resin tint. So we tint the resin, then put it on the board.
Right.
So this board's obviously white, so it's not the greatest, but this is the colors in the board essentially. There's no paint to chip off. Like the imported boards you see, they're all painted pretty much.
Right.
They have fancy paint jobs and all that stuff, but the look you see on this board is basically just the result of us finishing the board when we do a finish sand on it to make it nice and smooth. There's areas where you're going to see the carbon work its way through the hot coat.
But super smooth to the touch.
Oh, super smooth to the touch. Yeah. Yeah, it looks worse than
No, it's a cool. I'm one of the people who thinks it looks cool. So
most of our boards, in case anyone's wondering, they range. Really, we can make them pretty much any weight you want within reason. My lightest 14-footer I've made for someone is 18 pounds.
Wow.
But typically, if we do like this board's a double carbon layup, so it has single carbon on the bottom, double carbon on the deck from about somewhere in this general area all the way through to the tail, double carbon, and then a triple wrapped rail with carbon. So the side rails have three layers of carbon.
So if you're like me, you can bang the crap out of your rails with your paddle.
It's a durable board, and honestly, this board, let's weigh it, because I want to say it's going to come in probably around 22 pounds.
Yeah, it feels light.
22.1, right on the button. So they're light, for sure.
Yeah, I was surprised at how light your board was when I picked it up, and we had to scramble out of the water because of lightning, and I was on a dock.
The one you have has 3 layers and has 2 layers of S-glass on top, so it's super durable.
Yeah.
Your board was actually 24 pounds, so it's a little heavier.
Maybe I'm just getting stronger.
Yeah, well, the one you demoed. Now, the one you're going to ride tonight is 21.5 pounds.
Cool.
So it's super light. It's Tim Warner's old board. So anyway, that pretty much.
That's great, man.
Gives you
Thanks.
An idea of what our boards are like.
Yeah, no, I was a real big. The guys talking to the guys after the race.
Yeah.
Super stoked on their new boards, and I got on this thing 10 minutes before a race that was super. There's some strong competitors who will, be in the mix at the Carolina Cup, for example.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't anywhere close to them, but just, lots of churn and wash off the start, and felt really, I should have gone in, frankly,
and you didn't.
And I didn't, so that says a lot. And I was working hard.
Well, we are a super small board company, as you can see, and many people haven't heard of us yet, and the word is starting to spread for sure.
Yeah.
We'll be at the Carolina Cup this year as a vendor, as a sponsor. So super excited about that. Last year we just weren't ready really to be there.
Yeah.
We had some boards, but nothing like what we have going on now. So kind of a strong year for us for sure. So we're really excited.
It's exciting to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Thank you.